Good morning to all of you. Today is second day of 3 days conference, national conference on agriculture resource management for Atmanirbhar Bharat from 17 to 19. So today, welcome. First of all, today is technical session third on high-tech intervention of resources in horticulture crops. In this session, chairman is Professor T. Janki Raman, VC, YSR Horticulture University, Andhra Pradesh. Then second chairman, Dr. Professor Balraj Singh Ji, ex-VC, Jodhpur Agriculture University, and PC, Honeybee, and Pollinator. Then co-chairman of this session is Professor B.N. Hazarika sir, Dean College of Horticulture Forestry, CIU in Pasighat. Then rapporteur Dr. R. Kumar and Dr. N. Pilu. So not taking much time. First lecture keynote speaker is Professor T. Janki Raman sir. So I start from biodata of T. Janki Raman sir. T. Janki Raman sir, born on 13 August 1962, is an eminent horticulturist and presently serving as a assistant director general and recently joined as a VC YS Pramar Horticulture University, and he completed BSc from APAU and MSc PhD in horticulture with specialization in vegetable science from IRI New Delhi. He has outstanding contribution to floriculture research development in his career spanning 30 years with his distinguished academic record. Dr. Janki Raman started his career as a scientist at IIHR Bangalore in 1989, served as the head division of floriculture and landscape at IRI, and Dr. Janki Raman responsible for the development and release of 6 China Aster, 15 chrysanthemum, 15 gladiolus varieties, 5 hybrid of tuberose. Then China Aster varieties need special mention for their popularity gain in Andhra Pradesh with the support of Netherlands assisted project APW, EWL, and he has served as a nodal officer dust testing in ornamental crop at ISR Bangalore. He is responsible. He is responsible for the establishment of exclusive laboratory on value addition of ornamental at IRI and initiating turf research. He is also closely associated with activity of Rose Society of India, Delhi, Agri Horticulture Society, Indian Society of Ornamental Horticulture, Indian Society for Vegetable, Varanasi. He has Register of International Registration Authority of Bougainvillea, IRI. He is Vice President of Indian Society of Ornamental Horticulture, Rose Society of India, New Delhi. He is Chief Editor of Journal of Ornamental Horticulture, member of several professional society. He is one of the member of Institute IMC, RSC in many ICR Institute or oblique directorate. He has had his advanced training in floriculture in Germany and Israel. He is recipient of many awards and fellowship, including PNA ASF Gold Medal Award 2008, HSI Gold Medal Award in 2009, ISOH Lotus Puruskar Award in 2010, and Dr. B.H. Jain Award for Excellence in 2013 and Distinguished Scientist Award in 2012, and is also Best Scientist Award 2013 by Young Farmer Association Punjab and Lifetime Achievement Award 2014 by High Tech Horticulture Society, and he is also many awards. He is also a fellow of ISOH, Indian Society of Ornamental Horticulture, New Delhi, and he is also fellow of International Society for Noni Science, Chennai, and many other societies. He is widely traveled in India, has visited Germany, Netherlands, Turkey, Israel, Malaysia, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Thailand, China, and many more countries, and is also head of the division of floriculture landscape IRI. He has provided dynamic leadership in teaching, research, extension, and guiding PhD student. He has authored 12 books, 15 bulletin, and published 90 research papers in national and international journal and many more research is also there. So not taking much time, I requested Dr. Professor T. Janakiraman sir, start your presentation as a keynote on
Alda, can you?
potential of arsenic in indigenous flowers. Yeah, I
Yeah,
allow
can you?
sir.
Yeah.
Okay sir, you start sir. Share your presentation sir.
आ गया sharing?
No sir, coming. Yes sir, coming.
आ गया?
Yeah, very nice sir. You start sir.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. आवाज आ रहा है मेरे? Can you hear me?
Yeah sir. No problem. You start sir.
Okay. Good morning, everyone, and greetings from Dr. YSR Horticulture University, Venkatraman Gudem, West Godavari District, Andhra Pradesh. I recently took over charge as Vice Chancellor of this prestigious university among 7 horticulture universities in our country, and it is the second university to be established in our country. And greetings from our university to all of you. At the outset, I am thankful for the organizers for giving me this wonderful opportunity, and I thank Dr. Shastri ji, Dr. Haldar ji, and today especially I am happy for the presence for our esteemed colleague Dr. Balraj Singh ji, who was ex-Vice Chancellor of Jodhpur Agriculture University, and also my very good and old friend Dr. Hazarika ji from Pasighat, and all the participants who are present in this today's webinar. When this topic was given, when it is the focus is on how to become the Atmanirbharta. And today, from the call given by our Honorable Prime Minister and the call given by the Government of India about how to become self-sufficient in our technologies, particularly during this COVID-19 pandemic, which has really devastating all over the world in every aspect of our humankind and our lives. And today, this is really a very well thought of topic decided for this webinar. And today, I thought I should speak on the harnessing the potential of our indigenous ornamentals, because as we all know, the floriculture is one of the growth engines in horticulture. When we talk about the diversification, the doubling of the income, employment generation, women empowerment, value addition, exports, I think this is horticulture sector can answer all these questions. Moreover, the floriculture sector, which is emerging sector growing at 20% rate every year, I think if you see the area under the floriculture is growing up because of the lifestyle, changes, and also in the society, the occurrence of and celebration of many moments, like we are celebrating each month, every day, like Father's Day, Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, Christmas Day, New Year's Day, Teachers Day, Parents Day. So all these, and also with the development in the economy and the intervention of the Government of India schemes like MIDH, today the Mizoram is known as Anthurium state. Likewise, we also progressing in area expansion in floriculture crops. Today, if you see, it is almost 3.2 lakh hectares, which is covered under floriculture. So when we are talking about the floriculture sector, today, after this vocal local call, then I thought it is appropriate to talk about this indigenous ornamentals. What I did, because I thought many students, especially maybe present in this webinar, and also the young scientists who are participating, then I thought I must include some basic information on research and the development which has taken in this area particularly. When we take up the research, the habitat studies, ecosystem services, documentation, diversity studies, genetics, agrotechnology, and in research, particularly the ICR and SAF system, what is our contribution? It is the day to review in this area. Particularly, the work is not up to the expectations in this area. So today I thought I'll bring to the notice to this audience about the research achievements and research work which is going on in this area. And many universities, our traditional universities, then the Botanical Survey of India, then Jawaharlal Nehru, the Botanical Garden Research Institute, which is in the Trivandrum, is doing wonderful work in this aspect. And we have UNESCO heritage sites. You all may be knowing the Valley of Flowers, Uttarakhand, then Khas Plateau in Maharashtra, then Western Ghats. And also, when we talk about development in this area, the e-resources, publications, the domestications, and also the contribution of botanical gardens which are maintaining this indigenous population, the nurseries, especially when we talk about the nurseries, particularly when we are talking about the green building concepts, the certification, greening campuses, many of them we need to promote using our own indigenous material. There is also saying that when we promote this indigenous trees, particularly the bird nesting encourages, thereby we are also contributing to the biodiversity in the society. And as I told you, landscaping also, then some enthusiasts also maintaining this collection of indigenous ornamentals, national parks and sanctuaries. So if you take this geographical location of our country is at the confluence of three major global geographic realms, that is Indo-Malaysian, Eurasian and Afro-tropical, and one of the 17 mega diversity countries in the world. And we are fortunate that India is rich in all the three levels of biodiversity, that is ecosystem or habitat diversity if you talk, genetic diversity or species diversity, which we are going to witness in coming slides. If you see the ecosystem or habitat diversity in India, we have geographical area which represents 2.4% of the world's total land mass. And if you take the forest cover, there are almost 21.05% is under forest cover, and there are 16 major forests covering 221 subtypes. And wetlands, we have mangroves with the coastal regions. We have exclusively Dr. MS Swaminathan Foundation is dedicated to research on the mangroves, and we have also mangroves present in Andaman Nicobar area, 6,700 kilometers. That is 7% of the world's mangroves are available in our country. And we have unique marine ecosystems, desert ecosystems, and the cold desert in Ladakh. We have different ecosystems. Then if you take the key facts of the species diversity, 11.4% of the global flora, that is 4 lakh known species, and 47,513 plant species are there. 28% of the plants that occur in India are endemic. This is a major serious concern as a researchers and also development activities. Floristic diversity in India is concentrated in 4 biodiversity hotspots. And out of the 34 biodiversity hotspots recognized in the world, we have varied agroclimatic, ecological, edaphic conditions exist, as I told in the previous slide also. And there are significant areas in diversity which are reported to exhibit exceptional concentration of endemic plantation. So even take the micro centers for endemic plants. That includes the Andaman group of islands, Nicobar Islands. Then there are so many, almost 25 micro centers which are covering the endemic plants, and the high level of endemism in Indian flora is observed. If you go back to what is the published area, because when we are talking about this Atmanirbharta in exploiting these indigenous ornamentals, actually it is the time to relook into our milestones that has happened in this area. If you see 1832 Roxburgh, he described the phenology of wild and cultivated plants of India. Then the flora of British considered to be the national flora of India, that is Hooker in 1870 to 1897. And likewise, 1900 to 1959. And in 1959, they have described 100 beautiful trees of India in a descriptive pictorial handbook. So these are the milestones that has happened in this area. And of course, the Lele and Mishra, 1961, they have reported wild and naturalized flowering plants of Shimla. Likewise, even they have compiled a book on flowering trees and shrubs in India, that is Coven, 1978. And also 117 shrubs of India for the plains as well as hills were compiled and reported by Pratibha in 1989. So if you think over the checklist of endemic flowering plants, the rare species of Northern Western Ghats will just go by the different ecosystems and regions, that is Sahyadri ranges. Gaikwad reported in 2014. The checklist with the IUCN threatened category it is. And if you see in this range, 34 endemic taxa fall into the critically endangered, and 18 into IUCN category of endangered, and 20 into IUCN category which are vulnerable. Because when we are at this moment exploiting our own purpose, making our Indian plants into use, we need to, as a concern with the environment also, we need to know all these taxa and which are falling in different categories, particularly the endangered and also which are vulnerable. So we need to protect them also through different research projects. And if you take the Southern Western Ghats, there are nearly 5,800 species of flowering plants are available here, and 56 genera, 2,100 species are endemic again. And Karnataka alone, which is falls in Western Ghats area, harbors 3,900 species belonging to 1,323 genera, having 199 families. And Nilgiri is also again known for harboring different flowering plants, almost 2,611. And of course, some of the Annamalai ranges, Nilgiri, then Palni Hills are the hyper diversity areas in Western Ghats, which are also hotspot pockets. And these are the wealth that we have still not exploited from the Western Ghats. There are Ardisia paniculata and Demas laviti. So many species are there, and all these species we have not still explored the possibility of their, commercialization and its conservation and their, propagation. So we need to, think about these plants which are our strength. And these are the, indigenous climbers which are distributed in Western Ghats. See, this is the, Thunbergia mysorensis, which is again found in Western Ghats. Then so many, beautiful flowering spots. Jasminum malabaricum is one of the, jasmine species, which is very attractive, and I am happy to share that when we took the exploration to the Western Ghats, the IHR has domesticated and also in the process of commercializing this Jasminum malabaricum, and they have also registered with NBPGR. So this is a very good contribution from Indian Institute of Horticulture research scientists by domesticating this and exploiting for commercial value. And these are the aromatic plants distributed in Western Ghats. There are so many, Crinum latifolia and Crinium woodrowi. So there are the many plants which are fragrant. See, we are talking in commercial aspect, the aromatherapy. When we are looking into commercial angle, these are the plants which we need to commercialize as part of indigenous plants. And there are many foliage herbaceous perennial plants, the flowering plants available in Western Ghats. See, if you see these few slides, really how much diversity we have not realized so far for their commercialization. And particularly the impatiens balsamania mania is a very wonderful plant. Still, we have not exploited our own varieties of this impatiens. We are simply importing from other countries. Then these are the trees distributed in the Western Ghats. These are the, beautiful trees you are, seeing here. They can be exploited for our different zones. Of course, some of them are existing, but still to exploit that. If you see the floral diversity in Tamil Nadu, almost the forest cover is after 23,625 kilometers, and of course 12 taxa of bryophytes occur in Tamil Nadu, and Tamil Nadu has 4 indigenous gymnosperms and 60 introduced species. So this is another hotspot area which we have not still explored. And likewise, there are many things and presentation can be shared with the participants for their detailed. Of course, there are so many and taxa are available. While exploiting this our own indigenous flora, we need to look into the species which are listed in as a part of red list. There are almost 230 species are listed in this. We need to be aware while exploiting these species, and 85% of the endemic taxa are confined to the Western Ghats, 8% from Eastern Ghats, and 6% of taxa from coastal regions. So this is just to showcase how rich we are in, this diversity. And if you see the study on the floral diversity in Kerala, and here I would like to compliment the scientists from Kerala Agriculture University. They have also done wonderful work, and also they have 3 species already they have habituated, and they are in the process of commercialization. I'm really happy to note that. So these are the, there are 138 tree species, particularly belonging to 38 families, is endemic to Wayanad district of Kerala. And there are so many species, Ixora elongata and Calophyllum, and rare endangered species, threatened species of India. These are the listed species. As I told you, while exploiting our indigenous wealth, we need to know the endangered species which are threatened. And these are the, some RET which are present in Jammu and Kashmir region and northwest Himalaya. And these are the plant species endangered. Again, the endangered rhododendrons of Indian Eastern Himalayas. This is one crop, in Northeast. They have many commercial uses. The value-added products are prepared from this rhododendron, and rhododendron syrup, then even jam, jelly. Many products are available, and it's a beautiful ornamental, species also. And there are many species again, Uttarakhand and Himalayan. I really appreciate the first work done by the scientists of Y.S. Parmar Horticulture and Forestry, and they have done outstanding work of enlisting the species of this Himalayan region and also Uttarakhand area. And there are many species, Araceae and Sathiaceae family, and this was reported by Manoj Chandran in 2008. There are, orchid species which are also under threatened species. And these are the list just I provided, epiphytic orchid species from Western Ghats. I just enlisted, and I'm not going through the major details. And also endemic orchids of Sikkim. Here again, our National Research Center for Orchids are also doing outstanding work on orchids. They have also collections and some fragrant lines also they have developed in orchids. And coming to the our major strength, that is All India Coordinated Research Projects on floriculture. So we have, looking into the importance of our indigenous ornamentals, we have initiated work and a project titled Survey Collection Evaluation of Native Ornaments for Commercial Cultivation. Here, just to evaluate the potential of native ornaments for our both domestic and also in future the export markets. So here one thing is the maintaining of the passport data of newly collected species varieties and obtaining their IC and EC numbers from the ICR and BPGR. And recommendation of the varieties for commercial cultivation in respective region based on the extensive evaluation, and they have to explore under the areas under this project. Western Ghats, I told you, Kerala Agriculture University, then our Y.S. Parmar University, then our Orchid Institutes, they are working, and the work is also allotted accordingly. And so far the work done outcome is that I'm happy that at least the Periyakulam, the Horticulture Research Institute, they have 8 native ornamental species, that is wild jasmine, jasminum species, and so many they have collected in and around the Tamil Nadu state, Theni districts of Tamil Nadu. And here again, I congratulate the team working at Tamil Nadu Agriculture University Floriculture Department. Recently, under the extramural project, they have done a wonderful work on jasminum, and also they have developed a variety which is, can be cultivated or flowering throughout the year. And again, the horticulture station Periyakulam also, 2 native ornaments that they have collected after starting up this project. And of course, multiplication and establishment and demonstration plots is in progress. Then some of the basic studies also they are conducting, like cytological studies, Chlorophytum tuberosum, which is a diploid species. And of course, they reported the abnormal meiosis with multivalent formation and univalent were also observed. And Solan, as I told you, this is, they are carrying out outstanding work, and 24 native ornamentals are maintained in the native plant block at this university. And these are the list, and they have also recently come out with a publication. And as I told you, Kerala Agriculture University at Vellanikara campus also, they have collected 8 species of native ornamental. Particularly this barley area has got a tremendous scope for using as a shrub and also potted plants. So in this area we need to exploit. And they have also carried out extensive field evaluation of Hexaicum bicolor. And of course, the seed treatment studies, then pollination methods were also studied. And to give more impetus to this indigenous ornamentals, we have ASRP on floriculture. I must congratulate the director, Dr. K.V. Prasad, and his team, our floriculture team at Pune. They are doing wonderful job, and I compliment for this great initiative on the indigenous ornamentals. And also they have organized recently a webinar on the same, harnessing the potential of indigenous ornamentals. And of course here there are so many uses. As I told you, landscape uses. If you say the background plants, which are the plants they have identified, the climbers for arches and pergolas, butterfly and moon garden and flower borders, accent and corner plants. So this is the work done by KU Vellanikara in during 2015 and 16. And this is the plants identified for landscape uses. And of course, again, our Directorate of Floriculture Research, Pune, has taken a lot of initiatives in this direction. The Andaman Nicobar Islands, Dr. Bhaskaran is working in this area, and we have not still exploited our native ferns, orchids, and also the palms for various uses. Here again, ferns under conservation, then specialty flowers, then some other ornamental germplasm under conservation, then jasminum species. All these activities are initiated at the DFR, and jasmine species that are conserved at ICR DFR, auriculatum, then nititium, then multiflora, grandiflorum, then also ferns conserved. Here, many ferns, as I told you, even Andaman Nicobar is rich in fern diversity. And at IHR is also doing wonderful work on indigenous ornamentals, which was initiated in 2006, when we conducted the first exploration trip along with NBPGR. That is the only one exploration we have taken in floriculture, along with our esteemed ex-project coordinator, Dr. R.L. Mishraji. He has helped us, collecting from Western Ghats and also registering with NBPGR team. And also under the Dr. Gunjit Kumar, who is now the principal scientist working at the Division of Floriculture and Landscaping, IRI, was also part of this program. And under tribal sub-plan, the economic upliftment of Soliga tribes by establishing multi-purpose ornamental nursery at BR Hills near Mysore was initiated by IHR scientists. Again, this is one of the outstanding achievements in this direction. And they are collecting, conserving 41 species collected from BR Hills, which are near to Mysore. This work was done by Dr. Sumangla, who is the senior scientist, doing wonderful work in this direction again. And again, the native and naturalized ornamental plant species of Himachal Pradesh, as I mentioned, Dr. Priyanka Thakur and all their team, they are doing wonderful work again. They have selected wild ornamentals for Zone 1, then landscaping purpose. Of course, this is one of the wonderful works done by this university. And now, I think in coming years, I am sure that we will be able to give some plant material to our nursery industry. and they have also identified, southern Western Ghats plains also. They have brought out a publication covering the different plants of Palani hills in southwestern Ghats. And this is one of the, again, publication plants of Western Ghats. And here it includes the diversity from Wayanad district alone, and it includes 496 endemic plants. And it also contains the detailed account of 230 selected rare, endemic and threatened plant species of Western Ghats. So this is, to say that we have already documented, but we need to exploit for commercial, cultivation. And in this direction, I took initiative of bringing the special issue on Indian horticulture on beautiful world of indigenous ornamental plants, which, I thank our DDG horticulture, Dr. A.K. Singh ji, and also the director DK MA of ICR for, the wonderful publication, which we have covered everything, all the aspects. And I request, I will be mailing this to Dr. Haldarji, and all the participants can be given this soft copy wherever they want to, utilize. Some of you might have seen already. And this is the, one hymn flora developed by the Department of Floriculture and Landscaping, the wildflowers of Himalaya. And again, flowers of India. This is again online, and the particularly students of different universities who are working and interested in this area can utilize this opportunity, particularly during this pandemic COVID. And even the Indian plant species. These are the publications which are, brought out, in this area. Again, these are the different appendices, a useful ready reckoner available for enforcement agencies in the country. When we are exploiting, we need to enforce and know the rules and regulations for the development agencies. And this is a database of Indian plants. And I'm not going into detail, just to bring it to your notice. This information is available. This is the conservation of plant biodiversity in India. The different agencies that are working for conservation are, the United Nations Convention to combat desertification, and many international organizations are involved. And there are so many NGOs are also involved. One such, foundation for implementation of local health traditions, FRLST at Bangalore, is also doing wonderful work. And of course, these are the protected areas for plant biodiversity conservation. There are national parks, 15 wildlife sanctuaries, 47 conservation reserves, 4 community reserves. And Himachal Pradesh, Karnataka, Kerala, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, West Bengal, so on. They have, states for sacred groves also. About 13,928 sacred groves are available, are existing in our country. So, what is the way forward? Today, it is, from this platform, my, request that the university colleagues, the students, I request that this is one area we should identify for the work of the students' research problems, and also to start a small way projects on these indigenous ornamentals at different universities. And we need to identify the commercial significance. Still now, lot of diversity which we could not, identify in commercial angle. And whenever, recently when I was talking to one of the architect, which she used the indigenous ornamental plants, she was posing a question to me, whether how much percentage of plants are sold in our commercial nurseries. We don't have any specific concept to that because we have not systematically worked on this area. So we need to have a dialogue with the commercial nurseries, and we need to identify, the special area for the native ornamentals in the commercial nurseries. And of course, we need to strengthen the production centers and create a brand and develop markets and complete value chain involving the nurserymen, industry, researchers, all of us. We need to have a complete value chain for this upcoming industry, which has got a lot of value. So this is a informative and thought-provoking lecture. I thought I should provide the information with the Swadeshi Vocal for Local, which was the clarion call of our Honorable Prime Minister of India during the launch of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan 2020. I feel strongly this is the one area which we need to concentrate and take up in coming days, so that we can also be, vocal for local in this area also. And once again, I thank especially Dr. K.V. Prasad, who is the director of ICR, Directorate of Floriculture Research at Pune, for helping me in this presentation, and also doing wonderful job for promoting this area. And once again, I thank particularly the organizers, Dr. Shastri ji and Dr. Haldar ji, and all the team, the Honorable Vice Chancellor, for giving me this opportunity to share this platform today. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you. Excellent.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Sir.
Thank you, sir. Very nice presentation. You are also talking about the checklist of floriculture species found in India, and you also talking about the floriculture status in India, different institute, which institute working on this type of all. Very nice keynote address. Thank you again, sir. One question came from sir participants. Which is the role of floriculture in Atmanirbhar Bharat? What is the strategy for floriculture for Atmanirbhar Bharat? Sir?
Yeah.
One question came from sir. Audience.
Yeah. Please repeat.
Yeah, sir. That is which is the role of floriculture in Atmanirbhar Bharat?
Which is the
role of floriculture in Atmanirbhar Bharat? What is the strategy?
See, now this is the one message that we are getting in any area we are talking. We need to promote our own material, own technologies. Looking into that, the vast scope available for the planting material in our country, whether it is by the nurserymen or any commercial industry, we have not worked systematically in this area. Definitely, if you identify our own material, even we need to think about export also in this area, so that many, export promotions can happen with our own material. And, for one example, I tell you, the rose is the best example. When the export promotion we have taken in floriculture, we were not having the indigenous rose varieties developed for export promotion. And almost 100% the rose varieties that are suitable for, the polyhouse conditions are exotic varieties. We never had information about the exotic varieties, and we started simply importing, spending a lot of foreign exchange for this. And moreover, we have not tested those varieties. And many industry people in the beginning, they lost a lot of money because they were not tested for our conditions. And some plant material, after investing so much money, they have to, remove those varieties. And this is the one very good example. And particularly rose, when this question has come, having our own stand, developing our varieties, we took, the research project again, developing our, breeding our own varieties of roses for polyhouse conditions at IHR and also IRI. And in this direction, because we need to still validate on higher, upscale. In this direction, I'm happy that earlier the objective of rose is only for the garden purpose or our local purposes. And when we talk about export, they have different standards. And now the IHR has come out with, I think, varieties, and also the IHBT, two varieties they have developed for the polyhouse growing conditions, suitable varieties. So we need to, exploit this and really come out with very good varieties, so that we will become our, that is the Atmanirbharta. So in this, we need to identify this technology. Likewise, we need to develop some plants, whether it is shrubs, tree species, different landscaping purposes. We need to develop our own varieties for our industry as this nursery also.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Very nice giving the answer. Then another one question also coming from Dr. P. Sita Ramu. What is the status of exfoliation of flowers in Eastern Ghats?
See, that is what I told you earlier also, particularly in floriculture. The scientific team needs to be strong, and they need to explore always new areas, leaving the traditional work. In this case, as I mentioned, not many exploration we have not taken. As I remember, way back in early 2000, we had a exploration trip for the Western Ghats. So I think I suggest Dr. Sitaramu is from the Bagalkot University.
Maybe.
Dr. Sitaramu, can I just speak to you?
No, not sir, only participant.
Only participant. Okay, so I think they have to, if they are from university, I suggest them they should consult the DFR if they are interested to take up this exploration. Let us have a collaborative exploration trips between the universities along with the DFR and NBPGR. They can propose a program in coming years in this area.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Very nice answer given on this. Thank you, sir. Then next keynote speaker, Dr. Balraj Singh Ji, Honorable ex Vice Chancellor, Agricultural University, Jodhpur, and at present PC, a trip on honeybee and pollinators.
First, Dr. Haldar, let's give big hand to Dr. Janki Ram for making such an excellent presentation.
Okay, thank you.
Nice presentation. Very informative in field of floriculture. Okay, very detailed and everything. Okay.
So I hand out this session to Dr. Professor T. Janki Raman, sir.
Hello. Yeah.
You start, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much once again, Dr. Haldarji.
Yeah.
And also Dr. Shastriji and the Honorable Vice Chancellor for giving me this opportunity. And definitely I would have been very happy to be part of this program. You need to excuse me for some time. Definitely I will try to join this meeting. And Dr. Balrajji, yes, is well-known expert, particularly in protected cultivation. He has done a lot. And I remember the CPCT at IRI. I think he has done wonderful, outstanding job. and he brought many laurels to, CPCT, and as a vice chancellor also, I visited the Jodhpur University, and he has brought sea change in university, programs, and within a very short period, with very positivity, and always, even I was impressed to know that he himself used to take classes for the students as a vice chancellor. So as a, as a role model, when I came here and joined in our senior officers meeting, I told every Saturday I will also take classes for the students. Of course,
Good.
Very
uh,
nice.
of course, every Saturday I'll be taking, and now we are also starting in Pune. So I'll be. So these are the very inspiring people we have, and a very good talent we have. And I see Dr. A.K. Verma from our NRC, seed spices. He is again our very outstanding student of us from IRA, doing very good job again in seed spices. I know when I was ADG, I used to visit. He has very interesting results through mutation breeding he is doing at NRCSS, Ajmer. So many more known. Sharda Chaudhary ji is there. I can see, and I congratulate her for the recent, published paper of high rating of 8.8, I think. And I really appreciate her work. And I see many, of course, whatever I could see here, I am just commenting. Otherwise, we have very dedicated scientists in our system. So I think we can really make our India as part of Atmanirbharta, having our own products. And without taking much time, I think Dr. Balraj Singh ji is waiting. And sorry, Dr. Sahab, Balraj Sahab, because हमारे वो चलता है, इसलिए मैं आपका क्षमा मांगता हूँ, ये फर्स्ट मीटिंग है इसलिए.
No problem.
Thank you so
Dr.
much.
Sahab. Thank you very much.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir, thank you, Dr. Jankiram. I know you are busy at the moment. So you can direct Dr. Hajarika to do the session work in your absence.
Okay, sir. No. He is
Dr.
yes,
Dr.
yes.
Hajarika?
Dr. Hajarika, yes.
Balraj Singh ji also there.
Yes,
और डॉक्टर बलराज सिंह जी और डॉक्टर हजारिका साहब, आप दोनों ही पूरे सेशन को संभाल लीजिए सर, इन द एब्सेंस ऑफ डॉक्टर जानकीराम.
Thank you very much, and wonderful, organizing this conference.
Yeah.
Once again, congratulations. That's all.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
This.
Thank you.